So you want to live off the dividends of your stock portfolio, become financially independent and retire early. Is it possible to just live off dividends? And how much do you actually need? So in this video, I'm going to cover how much you actually need in your stock portfolio, how long it's going to take to get there, and how to structure your investments for dividend income. Last week I said I was lucky to be healthy, and this week I get a cold. Isn't that always the way? So I'm drinking tea with a bit of honey for my throat. And if that's why my voice sounds a little bit deeper, it's because of that. But let's get into the video. Okay, so how much do you need to actually live off dividends? The first thing you're going to need to do is to evaluate your lifestyle to determine how much money you actually need. Because this is going to be different for everybody. Somebody living at home with their parents is going to have likely different expenses than someone that's got a family. Different parts of the world, things cost different prices. So you need to factor in all of that. So the first stage really is going through and calculating what's the minimum amount that you actually need to live on that you could live comfortably off dividends. I don't suggest you actually ballpark this or actually just pick a number, say your current salary or anything. Actually go through your budget and work out all of your expenses and how much it actually would cost. Because it's very likely that because if you're not working, you're not going to need a lot of the extra expenses like transportation or maybe uniforms or anything like that. You also want to take into account future expenses. That's going to, again, depend on where you are in your life stage, whether you are interested in buying a house or not. Are there going to be any other future expenses? Like if you're a bit older, are there going to be health expenses? If you're still young, are you going to get married and start a family perhaps? You need to account for all those future expenses as well. The next thing you want to determine is if you want to live entirely off dividends or you want to use some of the capital as well. I personally just live off the dividends, but there are many in the FIRE community that take some of the capital out as well, and they call that a 4% rule. So the 4% rule states that once you save up a set amount of money, then you would put your money into, say, an index fund, so it follows the stock market, and so over the average price of the stock market increasing over time, and I think they calculated the last 50 years, based on the last 50 years of market data, that if you were able to withdraw 4% of the money that you've saved and you've put into the index fund, you could comfortably live for at least 33, possibly even more years. So if we put that into actually perspective, say you've saved up $1 million and you're withdrawing 4%, that's around $40,000 each year. Now your income would go up over the years as your stock portfolio goes up, but you shouldn't actually run out of money. But like I said, I don't do that. I just live off the dividends. I don't touch the capital. My motto is live off the dividends, keep the principal. So I always look for a 5% dividend yield. So that's the minimum I'll look for. And of course, my portfolio is growing all of the time as well. So the dividend income tends to go up. But if you're looking to exactly how much you would need, and we'll base it off just a 5% dividend, $500,000 portfolio is going to give you an income of $25,000 a year. A $1 million portfolio is going to give you $50,000 a year, and so on. So right now you're probably going, I can't save up that much money. That's like huge amounts of money. And I get it. It does sound so much more crazy than it actually is. Think of it this way. Most people don't have a problem building up equity in property. It's quite normal to build up equity of over $1 million in your home, and most people don't think that that's kind of strange or unusual. But thinking of investing and building up a stock portfolio to those amounts seems kind of out of reach. But if you think that you can do it in property, you can also do it in the stock market. Over the long term, of course, you're not going to be doing this like tomorrow, but over a long term, you will be able to get there. And I'm going to show you how to get there too. And just remember that the stock portfolio, like the property market, does grow over time. And yes, there's going to be some years that it's down and some years that it's up. That's normal. We know that. But over the long term, it's going to go up. It historically always has. And look, time is going to pass anyway. So why not start to build a financial future for yourself? Okay, so first determine how much money you're actually starting with. You want to use that as your initial deposit and to start building your portfolio. It doesn't matter how much. It could be a little amount, it could be a big amount. That's going to be entirely up to you and how much you have. The next step is to making regular contributions. Each time you get paid, start putting some into your investment account. Now, if you can, automate this so that each time you get paid, it automatically goes into your investment account. That's a good way to just have it on, set and forget, and it'll be growing gradually as you keep contributing more money. Other ways to find more money is to just go through your budget and see if there's any extra money that you can start contributing to your investment portfolio. Also, and this is going to be a little bit controversial, don't put all of your money into your superannuation plan, the one that you're going to get when you're 65. Now, there are great tax benefits, and sometimes employees and governments will match the benefits in those plans, which are great. So you can maximize that if you want to. But if you're planning on retiring early, you don't want to put all your money into an account that you can't access until you're 65. You want to be putting money into an account that you can access anytime. So by all means, maximize your superannuation or your 401k, whatever it is in the US. We have a different superannuation system here in Australia. By all means, do the best for that. But don't just put all of the money there. Try and build up some into your investment account so you can retire early and not have to wait until you're 65. So it's a typical time frame to be able to build up a portfolio of this size. Okay, so if you're looking for a $500,000 portfolio, that's an income of $25,000. Say if you start with an initial deposit of, say, $5,000 and then you add $500 each month, it'll take 21 years for you to get to the balance that you want. Now, this is based on a very conservative stock market increase of 5% plus an additional 5% in dividend income, making it about 10% all up. Now, this is very conservative. As we know, 5% increase in the stock market, historically it's actually been closer to 7 to 8% in Australia and about 10% in the US. But I thought I'd keep it conservative just to show you it doesn't take as long as you think. 20 years is less than most home loans. Okay, and using that same analogy, $1 million is going to take you about the same time if you can put $1,000 away instead of $500. And you could even possibly get there quicker if you're starting with more in the beginning or if you're able to contribute more. And that's up to you and your finances. So how do you structure your portfolio to receive dividends? You can receive dividends in a few different ways: by investing directly in companies or through index funds or exchange traded funds, or any high yield fund like that can be a good way to also passively get income like dividends. Now, you know that I go for companies that have over 5% yield, and most exchange traded funds that are high yield exchange traded funds or index funds, they may not always reach 5%, but they're very close to that. And also, of course, dividend yield isn't the only thing I look for. I've actually made a video on all of the criteria I look for when choosing stocks for dividend income. I'll put a link to that above. You can go and watch that at the end. Now, you will be building up slowly over time. Like I said, it's going to take you a while to build up such a significant portfolio where you can reach a point that you will be able to live off the dividends, and that's fine. Don't rush it. Just take it one step at a time. Little baby steps will get you there. So the amount of companies that you want to have in your portfolio, I usually think 10 to 15 is a good amount. That way you're diversifying your income in case one of the companies isn't as great as the others. If you're just buying index funds or exchange traded funds, you probably only need one and maybe two. That's all. You don't need to worry because the fund itself is diversified. Another thing you might want to consider is whether you're going to reinvest the dividends or you're going to take the dividend income as your money. Now, so reinvesting is a growth strategy. Not all companies will offer a DRIP or a dividend reinvestment plan. Most of the big ones do, of course, but a lot of the smaller companies may not offer it. So basically what it means, instead of getting the income, they will buy more of the stock for you, and sometimes even at a discount. So that can be a good way to build up your portfolio without actually you putting extra money into it. You don't have to do this. I take the income because I live off the income. But if you don't need the income, like in the beginning, if you're working full time, it can be a good way to grow your portfolio even faster. And then once you have enough to live off, you can change it to receiving the income. Or you can take the income right from the start, it doesn't matter, and you can use it as like a little bonus to motivate you to keep building up that portfolio over time. And the amount of dividends you get in the beginning when your portfolio is small may seem a little amount, like you might start the first year, you might only get $30 or $40 worth of dividends for the year because your portfolio is really small. But then the next year it grows a little bit, you've got a little bit more money in your portfolio, the stocks may have grown in value, the dividend might have increased, and so maybe the next year you get $200 or $300, and then the following year $3,000, $4,000, and then the following year maybe $10,000 for the year. It will grow over time. So you're not stuck at the same income level for the entire life. dividends do grow over time, and because your investment portfolio will also be growing over time, that will also help your income to increase. So dividends, I love them. They're the ultimate form of passive income. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video and my croaky voice hasn't put you off watching. And see, not good. I wasn't going to film the video and I thought, no, everybody's been asking me for this video. It probably won't sound as good as normal, but I'm going to do my best and get this video out because I feel like the information is more important than how my voice sounds. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will be less croaky next week in the next video, and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye.